Hey, it's your girl, Miss Soncerae here, and I'll be going through some stuff, you heard me. A lot of it has to do with my past, but a lot of it is current. But I noticed that dealing with my past, ironing that out, it kind of helps me understand what's happening to me right now. I appreciate you guys sending me video topic suggestions. A lot of you can relate to what I have been experiencing in my life, and that's why I continue to tell my story. So you guys can understand that there is someone out there experiencing what you are. I have this issue with emotions, okay? I don't like to show emotions often. It's rare that I fall in love, and when I do fall in love, I fall in love so hard. It takes a lot for me to really like a guy, and when I really like a guy, just like him, if he does something wrong, I'm actually hurt for an extended amount of time. It takes a while. And even in those times of emotional detachment, I'll actually start dating someone else and still never get emotionally attached to them and cut them off if they try to get too emotionally attached to me. I think that's where the no catching feelings movement started. I think we're all having a little derivative of what Soncerae is experiencing. Can we agree? Some of us choose emotional detachment in childhood as a life solution to sustain abuse at the hands of a primary caregiver. We kind of have to do that to protect ourselves from sadistic people. Usually women who have been physically or sexually abused as children end up treating the people in their environment as adversaries to be conquered as they get older. And that's where promiscuity comes into play. People underestimate their childhood and their upbringing. And a lot of people don't feel sympathy for people who have had a horrible childhood, not even understanding that what happens in their childhood is actually what forms them into an adult. Promiscuity is a form of control for men and women. Waiting for marriage for so many people is not even something that someone can form inside of their mind 9 times out of 10 if they have been molested as a child. The possibility to even attract a good man is not even a level of understanding some women who have been molested have. These women have an attitude that once she gives in to a man's sexual advances, he is obligated to her, which is somewhat of an effective tool if she'd hold off instead of just giving it completely away. Power and control comes above all else, which requires a woman to trample the needs of others, hurting them psychologically, emotionally, or physically, just to get her own needs met. Every day I sometimes think that being that person would get me a lot further than being the kind-hearted person I am. I used to be so docile, oh my God, you don't even understand. So many men walked over me because I was so quiet and so meek and so gentle and docile. And I'm still that person to a certain degree, but I have to have a duality to myself. I have to show people this strong, confident, almost angry woman in order to get a level of respect, because the docile, gentle, fragile woman that I used to be, people used to just trample all over me. Respecting myself and having high self-esteem is much easier to have now than it was when I was younger. It took me a while to understand that most men were looking to get laid, then leave immediately after, no matter how long they waited to have sex with me. I haven't been a hit it or quit it jump off often, but enough to grasp the concept in my early 20s. I'm not the cow that every man on the block can say they milked, but modeling did not help men perceive me as valued, and reputation is more important to men than who that woman actually is. That realization was annoying too. It made me want to be even more sadistic. It made me feel like the only other choice outside of that was to surrender my individuality, abandoning the traits that made me special in order to shelter under and identify with the perceived superior traits of some stronger presence. It seemed like I was at a lose-lose, but the key was to take accountability for whatever I was feeling, thinking, or whatever mistakes I had made in the past and not direct it towards men entirely. That takes some ease off my heart. Even though I'm detached from men emotionally, some men may be surprised that it is extremely difficult for me to be into a guy. It takes a lot for me to open up to a man, and many women feel this way. A lot of people mistake me as the promiscuous woman. Even when I was in high school, this is nothing. Like, everyone has always been saying I was a freak, I was a hoe, I was a slut. This is something that people always told me. And the interesting thing about it is the reason why they were like this was basically the mystery, because I never really told anybody what I was doing. Like, they'll see me with a whole bunch of guys. Here I am, the tomboy, around a whole bunch of guys, chit-chatting, they always hanging out with me. And people just automatically assume because I was around boys that I must be having sex with all of them. And it's a shame that it has to be that way. Like, has it ever occurred to anyone that a woman actually knows how to be just friends with boys or just friends with men? It's like people can't even accept that concept. But this is the woman I've always been, and I'm still that woman to this day. I'm just one of those women that men can be just friends with. But people didn't understand that, and they also didn't understand the idea of me not judging men who were into recreational sex or me participating in a certain type of sex with the man that I'm dating. Also, me being open about that sexuality, a lot of people cannot accept that, and that's strange to me. They just put you in this one box, regardless of whether you deserve to be in that box or not. I received an email this morning from Mary. She had watched a video of mine called Single Mothers Destroy Their Daughters' Relationships. She wrote, "This video made me cry. My relationships with my family is strained as well, and I've always wanted children but scared that I might fuck them up in the same way. You give me hope. Thank you for your videos." My romantic relationships were dead pretty much because men around me were not good men, so I feared them and men in general and did not interact with any. As I've been working on myself and opening up to men but highly selective, I found a great guy, but I'm still emotionally detached. I don't know, it seems hard for me to open up and even feel romantically in love with him. I love him, I love being with him, talking with him, having sex with him, etc. We are compatible in every way, but I still don't feel attached emotionally and still distant. Do you know of any way to correct this? Mary. Oh, let me tell you, I can relate in so many ways, it's not even funny. Being as though my solution to abuse or mistreatment was to just stop caring about anything. Stop allowing myself to get emotionally drawn in. Let the abusive words and actions pass over me. Deny those words and actions the chance to take seed by refusing to provide any soil. Building a fortress around my emotional apparatus. My suggestion is to celebrate that technique. Accept it. It helped during that time. Doing that helped you get through so much. Emotionally detaching yourself is not something that you should be ashamed of. However, that same detachment has changed your relationships in general. It's dimming the light. Emotional detachment has kept you from success in intimate relationships, where partner after partner complains about your emotional distance. I have heard so many men complain, "Oh, Soncerae, you have a wall up, you have a wall up, you have a wall up." I've heard that so much. So I know the feeling. I simply am not connected. When I do slightly feel connected, I'm subconsciously waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I know the verbal abuse or physical abuse is coming. It's only a matter of time. Letting an emotional guard down is a lot harder for someone who stood vulnerable behind that guard. Now's the time to overcome emotional detachment, not because you're being compelled to do so by environmental factors outside of your control, but because it's something you want to do. We used emotional attachment as a way to protect ourselves. Now we have to protect ourselves from emotional attachment. Same fight, different beast. It's not that you don't have access to your emotions or that they aren't there. It's just some sort of habitual character trait that's built over time to lower the feelings of helplessness. Remember, it is a response, a reaction. So during that time, it was suitable. Whatever trauma you were going through at the time, emotional detachment was appropriate. It was something that you were supposed to do. That's why I'm saying celebrate it. But emotional attachment is still a choice. Opening up emotionally doesn't pose the same risk now as it did then. You have to know that being in defense mode is not what you have to be all of the time. Even if emotional pain and rejection are the result, the sky isn't going to come crashing down. The world isn't going to come to a screeching halt. You'll be fine even if you feel you won't be able to deal with another heartbreak. You have learned a lot of lessons, and now you can avoid getting into situations that will cause you hurt. Intimacy is so real, and it's something that you need to be trying to experience, and I mean purely. You don't want to miss out on something like that. Underneath all those rationalizations, what's really going on with people is that they're simply afraid to get close for whatever reasons, or they're specifically, like me, entirely turned off or annoyed by the very idea of getting too intimate with someone physically, spiritually, or emotionally. I've decided to discontinue investing emotionally into anything that has the potential to do emotional harm to me from both men and women. A lot of people will never understand that if your caregiver wasn't a good caregiver, it affects your entire life. If your parents think you're worthless and unlovable, you'll tend to think this when you're an adult if that's been pumped in your head as a child, especially if they had no issue with saying that or showing you that. When you say that type of stuff to children, children believe you. The women in my family have always called me a whore, freak, slut, tramp, and thank God I never believed it. Growing up with sadistic people helped me to be able to ignore sadistic people today, so when these strangers are calling me names, it doesn't get under my skin. What hurts me more is to hear someone I love or someone I like call me that, and so I keep distance so that I will never fall in love with the abuser, not even by accident. It would only actually hurt me worse to find that I love someone who is sadistic. It's a defense mechanism, and I have it, and you have to want it to be gone for it to actually be gone, because it's a choice, but I don't want it gone. I want it here, and until I feel a level of comfort, I wouldn't always have it. It will always be here. And I'm not condoning that everyone have that same emotional detachment problem, but I actually have that problem. And I think as time goes on, it gets a lot worse. So if you have found a man and you two are happy, and it's been an extended amount of time and the happiness is still there, and you can trust that he isn't going to physically or mentally or verbally abuse you, then I think you should try to take that wall down. Because it's definitely a choice. You just have to open, you have to just surrender. And surrendering can be extremely difficult if your power was stripped away from you when you were young. Because now you're definitely like, I am not trying to let anyone take that power. You know what I mean? I appreciate your video topic suggestions. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, okay? Have vision and stay focused. Namaste. Hey guys, it's Soncerae here, and you can join us for my 37th birthday cruise celebration on the Amazing Getaway, hosted by TV personality Nicole Hoops Alexander and our celebrity friends on board the Carnival Sensation Memorial 2017. We're going to Turks and Caicos, selling out of Miami. Reserve your cabin now with a $100 deposit by visiting www.theamazinggetaway.net. So many of my celebrity friends will be joining us: music artists, active basketball and football players, actors, reality stars, and more. No, you don't need a passport. I can't even believe this will be my first time on a cruise. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Hey, if enough of you show up, I'm going to make this an annual thing, honey. It doesn't matter if you're single or you're married, black or white, grown or young. I appreciate you all. Book your cabin today because they're filling up so fast. Also, make sure that you like and share my videos. After you subscribe, tell a friend to watch me now. Tap the bell and receive notifications whenever I upload a new video. If you'd like to donate to my nonprofit organization, Block 11, the link is in the long description box below. Or you can visit www.bmagmobile.com for more information. If you're doing something positive for the community, please tell us your story so that you can be featured in the magazine. Email it to theblock11@gmail.com. My comments and user ratings are disabled, so if you have any questions or concerns, maybe you'd like to do a live Google Hangout video chat with me for my channel, and I'm definitely down with that. You can text me or leave a voicemail message at 678-856-3463, or you are welcome to email me at welovesoncerae@gmail.com, or keep it simple, hit me up on my social media platforms, okay? I appreciate you watching. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.